Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jasmin Crawford. I converted to Islam a year and a half ago. I chose Islam because I believe it was the right thing to do. I was asking God for signs and to guide me. And actually, I was a Catholic, and I just wanted to be better Catholic. And so I was studying the different religions, and I just was interested in learning. And the more that I learned, the more I liked it. And it was a little difficult in the beginning because it was hard to let go of my past, but it was, alhamdulillah, I think it's the right thing to do. Before I converted to Islam, I knew basically what most of the other people know about Islam, which is the terrorists, and that the women, are covered. And unfortunately, there are some Muslims that are not practicing, so they don't represent Islam the way that they should. And so when they hang out with non-Muslims, they give the wrong impression of what Islam is about. So I thought the same thing that most other people thought, that it was just a way of life, that people, that it wasn't really a religion, it was just what people did. I have friends who are Muslim, and so it opened the door for me to look more into it. But then I knew about Islam. I knew in Judaism and Christianity and Islam. So, that's how I knew about it, but really because I had friends who were Muslim.
Do you have a smaller plate? How much is a smaller plate? Just rice and curry? Rice and curry? $65. And that's that one?
Yeah. This one, you stay, give me $2.
Okay, but I'm eventually going to take it. And does that come with salad?
Small one, no.
Inshallah. Can I just have a small? I don't want a lot. I don't want so much.
The main thing that attracted me to Islam is La ilaha illallah, the fact that you go directly to God, because I've always gone directly to God anyway. And there's not really one particular thing, because there was so many major things that happened in my search that made me feel like it was the right thing for me. So, the Quran never changing was very important, and the proofs and the scientific proofs in the Quran, just all the little things that are in Islam that just make sense. It makes a lot more sense than the other religions.
ولدت جازمين ونشأت في أحد أحياء نيويورك، وقد حظيت بدعم من أسرتها وأصدقائها أثناء مسيرتها لاعتناق الإسلام.
In my immediate family, I am the only Muslim. I do have distant family members that have also converted. But as of now, I am the only Muslim in my family, inshallah. I'm working on my mother. The relationship with my parents, alhamdulillah, I love my parents. My father was very ill. At the time that I was looking into Islam, I had just found out that he had cancer again. And my mother, she's such a beautiful woman, alhamdulillah. She helps me with everything. She helps me get up for Fajr. She buys me halal food, and she's a beautiful woman. I'm very close to my mother. My father passed last July, but it was a very good relationship. The only question that my mother asked me was, I thought you were going to think about it. And other than that, they're not strict Catholics, So, subhanAllah, they said if it makes you happy, as long as you don't go blowing up people, do it. Do what makes you happy. Since I've become Muslim, I have not lost any friends, not that I know of. but I'm a different kind of person. Like I don't care. If you don't talk to me, you don't talk to me, and it doesn't bother me. So alhamdulillah, so far, all of my friends and my family, or most of my family, have been very accepting of me, and they're okay with me, and I haven't had too many problems as of yet.
إن تنوع المجتمع الإسلامي في مدينة نيويورك لا يوجد إلا في الولايات المتحدة، فهناك ما يزيد على 175 مسجداً، ومجتمع يقدر تعداده بحوالي 600 ألف، وهو أحد أسرع المجتمعات الدينية نمواً في مدينة نيويورك.
It is very easy to be an American Muslim in New York. As long as you are confident and secure in yourself. And the style, you know, people think that this is just my style. They don't realize that I'm Muslim because if you see what people wear outside today, they throw on all types of things. So some people don't even realize that I'm Muslim. But a lot of people ask me questions. And I've noticed that people are actually very kind to me. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. In New York, I think it is fairly easy to find what you're looking for the most part. I'm sure in other states and cities it's probably a lot more difficult, but we have halal on every corner, basically. So it's pretty easy. I've been eating a lot of fish lately, but I think it's very convenient to be a convert and a Muslim in New York City.
أثناء مسيرة جازمين لاعتناق الإسلام عثرت على مركز مكة في قلب مدينة نيويورك، وقد قضت ما يقرب من عامين تدرس قيم الإسلام في المركز وتتولى العديد من الأدوار. من هذه الأدوار الإعداد للمناسبات الخاصة.
Makkah is the Muslim Education and Convert Center of America. It is a non-profit organization. We offer classes. We have a new Muslim program which shows new Muslims, you know, how to pray and all the basics that you need to be a Muslim. You know, when you convert, it could be very frightening and overwhelming. And you know, you take your shahada and then that's it. You know, you go by yourself and you have no one to help you. So you come here, you take classes with other students who are also looking into Islam, with qualified teachers who have studied abroad with scholars. We also offer like Arabic and Aqidah and fiqh. And we have support groups for converts, you know, sisters who are going through the same thing. They're not sure they want to wear hijab, and you know, we help each other out. And we just offer a lot of great classes, not only to Muslims, to non-Muslims, but to Muslims as well. So we have converts, we have born Muslims, and we have people who just are interested in learning more about Islam. We do offer support for non-Muslims, rather for Muslims when they convert. We'll have like a sister circle or a brother circle where we come in and you know, we eat and we talk about our problems or what we're going through. Some people have similar situations where their family or their friends are no longer talking to them, and it's very emotional, it's very difficult, and they feel alone. And you know, we all have a connection here. It's like a very small family, and we all have similar situations. So it's a great place, alhamdulillah. 2 and then 3, then 2, then 3.
We do rows of 3.
3, 6, 9, 12, and then we still have one extra though. We could probably do the rows of 3. Our converts are from everywhere. We have myself, I'm black and white, I'm Irish and African American and Indian. And we have Chinese, we have Spanish, we have white people, we have everything here. So, you know, this is New York City. You're gonna get everything. Can I have 2 volunteers?
Yeah,
3?
Yeah, 3 is good.
Please, thank you.
43rd and 5th?
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Corey. I converted September of 2010. I'm originally from South Korea, but I came to America when I was 2 months old, and I converted and took Shahada in September of 2010. Originally, the woman who I was in love with was Muslim and exposed me to the religion, and we went to different masjids around the city looking for a way to get married without having me to convert. But I realized, given the doctrine, that was not allowed. So we figured that the best course of action would be to look into the religion and have me learn about the religion, and I finally embraced it in September. Ever since I converted, I've been incorporating a lot of Islam into my life, and it's definitely improved the type of person I am, not only for myself, but I feel like I'm a better person for society, not to be corny or anything, but it's definitely improved my life, so I'm hoping it's the right decision. So the transition was definitely a little difficult. There are a lot of friends that I don't really interact with anymore because that's what they do on a consistent basis, and that's not something that I'm trying to surround myself with. So it's definitely been a tough transition, but I mean, again, fortunately, there's a place like the Makkah Center that provides you with a community of converts who are, I guess, struggling with a similar situation and going through the same things that you're going through, and I guess you can sort of bond over those common struggles. I have been praying 5 times a day. Fortunately, I have a place like the Makkah Center because I've been able to take classes on a weekly basis, learn Quran, and I'm learning Arabic with one of the teachers here who's teaching me different surahs and the alphabet, and trying to incorporate as much Islamic knowledge as possible.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله 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 الله
رب البرية صل أبديا رب البرية
We've heard about the efforts of Makkah Center for some time, and that we've always supported everything that is taking place here, in particular because of its focus on converts.
So tell the old world that the new world has always been and will always be waiting to be discovered.
There is no science or no knowledge in Islam that has a greater importance than al-Iman, to have the faith. In fact, having al-Iman is the greatest ni'mah of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala on His slaves. I became a Muslim about 30 years ago. I am from Atlantic City, New Jersey, born here in America. And in around 1980, I embraced Islam as a kid, as a youngster. Islam represented a form of justice. And the area where I grew up, there was a lot of injustice, racism, classism, and Islam represented a balance in all of those things. And the Muslims, they seemed to be a people who treated everyone equal, everyone just, and that was attractive to me. So I began to follow and listen and learn, and ultimately I embraced Islam Here at Mecca, we have several classes in the different Islamic sciences. As for myself, I teach the classes which deal with al-aqidah, or the science of Islamic belief, al-fiqh, which deals with the Islamic rules of how to pray, how to fast, pay charity, and matters to that, as well as the science of at-tazkiyah, or at-tasawwuf, which is the spiritual aspect, some may say Sufism, which is the spiritual aspect of the religion that works with the inward state of the human being, not just the outward part. So these are my classes here that I teach, which are the main core classes as far as religious instruction.
My born name is David Johnson, and people call me Dawood, so Dawood Johnson. I became a Muslim in 1995 when I started practicing Islam. I started learning about Islam in college. Didn't grow up particularly religious. My family is Christian. We went to church sometimes, but we weren't forced, to be Christian or learn particularly anything. So I was just looking for something for myself to really grab onto, because I always believed in God, and I just started reading. Somebody gave me a copy of the Quran, and I read it, and it made a lot of sense to me. I used to go and talk to a person who was an imam when I was in college in Nashville, Tennessee. That's where I went to college, at Tennessee State University. And we used to go talk to him and a friend of mine after Jummah every Friday. He would tell us about Islam, slowly, and then eventually I just embraced it for myself. This particular class is Introduction to Hadith Science. But I've taken a lot of classes here. I've been coming here for about a year. I've studied Aqidah, the beliefs. We have different little seminars and stuff where we learned about prophetic medicine, all kinds of classes. So Arabic, I've taken Arabic classes here too.
So basically everything that we have here at Mecca is used from the donation money. So it's a non-profit organization, and this is where the money goes, and the classes for the students, and paying the teachers as well. And yeah, this is basically where all the money is going, and also for the space that we're using for rent. So, okay, so just put me on camera that I can't get the bread out, right? And it doesn't want to come out right now, of course. It's camera shy, it doesn't want to come out.
The end of this word, there's a tanween, right? And that tanween is telling us, it indicates to us that that word is a noun. Obviously, in the word Muhammad, it's very obvious for us. We know it's a noun already. But maybe you're reading something in the Quran, for example, and you want to know, is this a noun or is this a verb? And you can use these signs to indicate and tell you what the words actually are. So al-khaft or al-jar, for example, if we look at the word Bismillahi, right? Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. If we look at this word here, Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim, right? If we look at the Bismi, you can see there's a kasra here, right? This is in the state of al-khaft, or you can call it al-jar. So this indicates that the word ism is what? It is a noun, it's a noun. Do you see that? The same thing with Allah, obviously. If you already know it's a noun, then you don't need to look for the indications. We know that Allah's name is a noun, it's a noun. But if we look at the end of the word, we see it's in the state of khaft, or jar, which the kasra indicates that state, which tells us what? That the word Allah is also a noun. And the same thing with ar-Rahman.
تم تعريف العلاقة المعقدة بين المرأة والإسلام في الكثير من النصوص والثقافات في العالم الإسلامي وفي جميع أنحاء الولايات المتحدة بما في ذلك مدينة نيويورك. تمتلك المرأة تفسيراً أكثر انفتاحاً للتقاليد الدينية ودورها في المجتمع الإسلامي.
I think of the people who believe that the Muslim women are oppressed is that they're just misinformed, and they choose not to read the truth about it and to open their eyes and to open their hearts, and so they're misinformed. I used to be that person. You know, before I thought the same thing. And after I opened the book and started reading, then I learned the truth. So they're just ignorant a little bit. I chose to wear the veil actually before I converted, because in the Bible also it says that you should cover. And at the time that I was looking into the religions, it was very deep for me. It was very, very strong, and it was my way of saying, you know, I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to, I just need to find God right now, you know. So I had already covered my head because even in the Bible and even in Judaism, so it didn't matter which religion I chose, either way I was going to have to do it. So I just went ahead and did that part. So we have limitations on our clothing, on what we can wear. You know, something simple as you just want to throw on a shirt and some jeans and throw your hair in a ponytail and go, and you can't. And it's not easy always to just walk outside and you know, put a scarf on your head and make sure everything is covered, you know. I think that's the biggest challenge is abiding to the rules of hijab, of to cover as a modest woman.
يؤمن معظم المسلمين أنه يتعين ارتداء الحجاب في جميع الأوقات، إلا أن آخرين يؤمنون أن ارتداء الحجاب حرية شخصية.
I was born Muslim. I was born in Ghana, and the town that I come from is predominantly Muslim. I come from a pretty religious background, but I'm not sure if this is where culture kind of clashes with religious practices or religious rules. In Ghana, where I'm from, there are people who cover, but then there are people who don't cover. It's not as if you stand out, or it's not as if it's something weird for you not to cover. And I know that those people who do cover aren't judgmental. Like, you know, there's times where I've felt judged here in America, but I know that, like, in Ghana, those people who do cover aren't judgmental of those that don't. And for the most part, you're expected to wear something on your head. So not necessarily full out being covered. You're expected to wear something on your head once you're married, because that's a way of symbolizing that you're no longer single. It's kind of like our version of the engagement ring. But other than that, I don't know, it was just the culture that I was raised in, and I've never kind of felt this imperative to cover. It's not like with prayer. Like, when I don't pray, I feel really weird. I know I have to pray. When I don't cover, I don't feel the same sense of urgency. So I guess it's kind of a cultural thing for me.
To have a friend who's Muslim and does not cover is, to me, the same as myself who chose to cover. I think it's I don't want to say I think it's a personal choice. It's something I'm still looking into. I'm not a scholar, and people tell me the ruling is you have to cover, but personally in my heart, I don't know that I feel it's haram if you don't cover. So this is between her and Allah, you know?
Oh,
I do this.
Sweet.
Well, you know, I don't do things because other people do things. I do this because I want to do this. You know, if I did things because other people, I would never have converted. I would have stayed Catholic. I would have stayed going out and drinking and doing the things that I was doing before. I do this because of me. I put this on because I felt like putting it on. Maybe one day I might, you know, learn more and say it is not necessary and take it off. Because some days I feel like it draws more attention to me. You know, people still talk to me. Brothers still look at me. They respect me differently, and to me this is just a badge that tells people I'm a Muslim sister. I do see the importance in it though. I do believe it's very important. I personally, I think it's beautiful. I think it's very beautiful. I feel different in hijab. And to me, it reminds me of my duties, of what I need to do, you know, and it reminds you how to act in public because you constantly have it on. Basically, it is a uniform. And it is modest. So I think it's important, but I don't think it's the most important thing. I'm positive that I made the right choice to Islam. because of the signs that I received when the day that I chose to convert. So I asked Allah to please, I need a sign. I need something to know what, what am I choosing here? And I received the sign. And again, my father was very ill, so naturally it made me more in touch with God because I was losing my father. And he's helped me a lot with that. Allah made it very, he answered my du'as always. So I feel a lot more connected to Allah now. And sometimes I don't have doubt. Sometimes I get frustrated with myself and frustrated with the limitations that we have. But alhamdulillah, I know that I made the right choice.
If there was one message I had to people who are interested in Islam, I would say that they should go out and actually read the materials and educate themselves with Islamic knowledge. I think people are quick to use the media or television and sort of just hear these sort of tidbits of what Islam is, and without really delving into the text, it's very easy to fall into the trap to think that all Muslims are terrorists or all these other sort of preconceived notions. So I guess the message would be to just go out and educate yourself and try to find a teacher that will help you learn the religion.
I would say if I have a message for anyone who's considering who's considering Islam, go to Allah only. Go within your heart and cry. If you need to cry, cry. And Allah will answer you. And whatever sign you need or whatever it is specifically for you, Allah will provide it for you. I know because it happened for me and many other people. So you do not need to speak to an imam or a sheikh or a priest or a rabbi. You need to speak to Allah. That's it. There's only one that you need to go to get your answer, and Allah will guide you and Allah will put it in your heart, and before you know it, you will see, right in front of your face what you need to do. And then when you feel the peace, you feel the peace, and you should not be afraid that you'll fail because you're not ready to wear hijab. You take your time. The most important thing is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and praying, Everything after that, it comes, inshallah.